Hey, everybody, welcome to another edition, actually, the Friday edition of the Arkansas Diamond Report with Dudley Dawson. I'm Jason Pattison here on January 19th. It's about 9:15, and we're ready to go. I want to thank Coy Southern Eats for their sponsorship and all of their continued, you know, giving and all their support. And I want to congratulate Clay and his wife on their new addition. And make sure to go and check out koissoutherneats.com for all of their great products. You can also find them in select grocery stores in Central Arkansas, Northeast, and Northwest Arkansas. So, Dudley, how's it going, my man? You're on mute, my friend.
Here we are on the Diamond Report with our collective NBA outfits on. Arguably two of the best teams in the league, maybe the two best. If Minnesota's in there obviously as well, it's been a fun season so far for both of us. I think
it really has, and also the fact that you're watching two Razorbacks, ex-Razorbacks, on the Oklahoma City side, finding success in the NBA is always fun. You got Jordan Walsh, which is tearing it up in the D League right now.
Well, he just got caught up to the Celtics and played the other night. Played 3 minutes in his NBA debut. Got a standing ovation when he came in because the Boston Celtic crowd knew that he was his NBA debut. Got 3 rebounds, missed his only 3-pointer, but he's up there now, and so they're now 4 guys off that team last year that are on NBA rosters, including Ricky Council with Philadelphia.
Yep, and that I don't want to say that you might see the same thing happen with this roster that Muss has. I think that they're still trying to find their way. But I texted one of my friends. I told him, I was like, the first 3 games of the SEC season, they're probably going to crap the bed. They'll start to find it, and then they might get on a roll. It just depends. But with it being
what was your basis for that? Past history?
Yes, it is. Actually, the last 4 years. I was really taking a gambler's shot at that, really. But I'd like to see them really start to find their way. I think that winning does help a lot of ailments on the team, and we'll just have to see if they can get this thing turned around a little bit.
Yeah, it's okay to fix things after a close win instead of a close loss.
And, with the amount of fouls that were called, which they were fouls, I mean, it wasn't like rushing by a guy and you accidentally touched him the call. I mean, it was Hack City, Tuesday night. And I think that might be one of the formulas that might have stumbled upon.
I'm about to do a trick here. My wife handled it. That's okay. I was going to get a dog that came in here, but she's letting out, so we're good.
Okay. I wonder if that's a formula that might have stumbled upon. Let's muddy this game up. We'll get 30 to 50 free throws out of it. That'll be, 30-40% of our points, and hopefully we can pull out a victory.
Yeah, certainly, a big shot by Mark the other night that, I think if they went 0-4 in conference play, you might have just packed the bags as far as the NCAA tournament. Might have been looking at an NIT berth or CBI or CSI or one of those other tournaments. But Gabriel Chance got to be able to take that and go win on Saturday at noon against South Carolina, who's a good team and certainly is better than they were last year, but will be without Miles Scooty this weekend. And that's an opportunity for them basically to get back in it because next week's pretty tough. Yeah, and Ole Miss in Kentucky here.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but South Carolina is going to be more of a reprieve over the next 3 games, and you'd like to see Arkansas go 2-1. I know that you don't want to see a loss, but those are going to be inevitable. And if that's the case, then they really need a 2-1 over these next 3 to really kind of keep turning it around.
Yeah, if you can get to 500. You will have done enough stuff to get in the tournament, I think, because you started out 0-3. You'll have some good wins on your resume there. But it's just a matter of, as I say, you can't linger too long on this Wednesday win, or you got to have the Saturday one as well.
Yeah. Before we get to the lady basketball side of the show, I want to give a quick shout out to Jordan Weaver and her Gymnastics. They traveled to Tuscaloosa yesterday. They take on Alabama tonight, and I'm going to tell you what, 3 versus 4. I feel like Jordan has taken this program up to that next level that you might see them being able to be more competitive with an Oklahoma, with a UCLA, and now Alabama. They're in the top 5 as well, and I think that's going to be a great match tonight.
Yeah, looking forward to watching a little of that. It's going to be on Friday Night Heights, which is the SEC Network's version of Friday Night Lights, I guess. You've got 3 different meets that are there. It's interesting. Arkansas won against Alabama in 2016 and 2017. In the other 52 meets that it's had against Alabama, it's only won 3 of them. It's been a domination of a series, much like in football, and the Alabama-Arkansas series. But Arkansas's actually had more success against Alabama overall in football than they have in gymnastics. But as you said, Coach Weaver has done a wonderful job recruiting. Both of these teams came out with the record score they've ever had at a home meet for our first home meet. 2 really, really good teams, and it would be such a good exposure and a good win for Arkansas if they can go down there. And boy, these things are so close. The one bobble on the beam, one missed landing, and it's a point deduction, and that usually is the difference in win or loss in these things.
Yeah, because these come down to tens, hundreds, and thousands of a point. Whenever you have 2 teams that compete, they're so close and they're so even in far as scoring goes. That's what I honestly think that's one of the draw to this sport too, is that it's so close on how evenly competitive both teams are, and so that's it just makes great competition, makes great TV also.
Yeah, and I love math and numbers, but man, that's cutting it. That's some of that high math there that I really have to strain. But as I said, looking forward to it. The Celtics and Denver Nuggets and the Gymnastics will be on our TV tonight, and no doubt Dateline as well.
Yeah, so
maybe a little Ted, the new series Ted. Seth MacFarlane had that on Peacock, which is pretty fun.
Dude, that first episode killed me. It was incredible. It was so good. Now, I will put the disclaimer out there. Make sure that the little ones aren't in there because the series just follow the movies.
Not suitable for the entire family.
No. It's for the adult crowd only. But let's kind of look forward here. Lady Razorbacks, they've had almost an entire week off now, and classes started this week on campus. Actually, yesterday because of all the snow. And Arkansas, they take on LSU at LSU. That's going to be a pretty tall order for Coach Neighbors.
Yeah, certainly a situation where you have 2 teams that are coming off wins against Alabama. LSU beat Alabama last night. Had that game on a big third quarter where they kind of reasserted their dominance as one of the SEC's best teams. Lost Sunday, but in Arkansas obviously came back against Alabama. Mm-hmm. So as you said, it's going to be a tall task for Arkansas. They're going to need to, you would hope that maybe Talia Scott would be, at a point where she may be able to play now after missing the first of these last 3 games. It'll be probably a game time situation again. We'll know till Sunday at 4, which is a later ball game. Obviously than they usually have on Sunday, but should be a really good one. Tall task, as you noted, but that was a big win to go to Alabama and get a win after not being able to get one at Kentucky and then losing one at home. They all count one, but that was a huge uplift for them going into this off week and recruiting. And no, Coach Neighbors was out for three days this week recruiting. He's going to have a press conference here a little bit later this morning, and we'll have a story up on his thoughts in the next day or 2.
Question for you real quick. What's more flashier, LSU's play or Kim Mulkey's wardrobe?
Oh, Kim Mulkey's wardrobe, easily. She and I did think it was pretty impressive. A couple of weeks ago, they had a dress like Coach Mulkey night, and everybody was basically wearing their Fat Tuesday costumes. In the stands. They have fun with it. She's she's been a great coach. She's a fiery coach, as we all know. Kind of, being the Cardinal fan that I am, I wonder. I need to check her son used to be the AAA shortstop the AAA backup, I should say, for Mason Wynn with the Memphis Redbirds. Kramer, and not sure where he's at now. I'm sure he's still in baseball, but he's no longer with the Cardinals.
Yeah. So whenever Neighbors walks into that into the Maravich Center on Saturday, how are they going to contain Angel Reese?
They're not. I mean, she's proven in the games that she's had against Arkansas that she's and all the other games that she's a phenomenal rebounder. The only problem she's had, obviously, I think the stardom went to her head a little bit. Coach Mulkey really, took hold of that and had her sit out a few games as a coach's decision. But she's a phenomenal rebounder. She's got a lot of flair, I guess is the word I want to use there. She certainly, her and Caitlin Clark had a deal, last year.
A little back and forth.
Yes, and by the way, Caitlin Clark is playing great again.
God, she's playing out of her mind.
My wife Pedro and I were watching her the other night. She's just a phenomenal player. Just steps up, hit 30-footers like other people hit layups. I think she's pretty much going to be the number one draft pick there for the WNBA next year. So she's brought a lot of attention to women's basketball, and as a girl dad of two girls, I'm proud that women's sports are getting much more attention, and I'm here trying to help drive it here in Arkansas by reporting on a lot of it.
And kind of going back to Angel Reese for just a second, I mean, is there going to be a switch on her between Saylor, Merriam, maybe a Jenna Lawrence? I mean, is it something where they're going to have to platoon against her to kind of, if not maybe let her get hers, but then try to contain everybody else? Because I almost feel like with LSU, it's almost pick your poison with their lineup.
Yeah, the battle, obviously, as we go into this game, Saylor Offenberger actually is rebounding at a better pace than Angel Reese has this year. I suspect those two will grab plenty of caroms, and the long rebounds. And this is where Samara Spencer came in handy last Sunday. She had 14 rebounds. The long rebounds may be the difference in this ball game, not necessarily the ones right around the rim.
Yeah, that's if the guards can, that goes for any game almost. I mean, if your guards can rebound and if they can get those 50-50 balls, that's really going to give them a great chance to not stay in the game, maybe hang around to be in it at the end of the game, which I think is what Neighbors is kind of hoping for. Yeah,
and even in the situation, especially when you're playing on the road, it can't be 50-50. You got to get 70% of those loose ball rebounds, those long rebounds, if you're going to be able to pull off a win.
So this week, both baseball and softball on the Hill had their media days. Let's start off with Courtney Deifel and her group. You got the chance to talk to some of the ladies, and the social media extraordinaire Brie Ellis, she was all over it.
But she made contact. She's known for her contact hitting and made contact by getting a little accident, which I guess was not her fault after media day out there in between the basketball facilities. But it's interesting. That if it's snowing in northwest Arkansas and it's cold, baseball's and softball are just right around the corner.
Yep. And was there anything that you kind of took away from media day with softball with Coach Deifel? Was there kind of a buzz that you might have not have seen the last couple of years?
Well, I do think that she's felt really good about these last few teams, but it's hard. It's hard not to see that she really thinks. I think, and she said that on our show. When we interviewed her back last fall, that She thinks there's going to be a national title here sooner or later, and this offense certainly has the opportunity to be an important force in that this year. They've always been the Bogle Bombers, hit a lot of home runs, but they've got a balanced thing now with a lot of run producers that not only just hit home runs, but are able to get on base, move around, and really make it a more diverse attack than just sitting up there and swatting 3-run homers or whatever it is. We were just talking before we went on the show that softball.com has 4 Razorbacks in the top 100 of the players in the country right now. And you would have thought Hannah Gamble and Reagan Johnson would have been 2 of them that were in there, but they were not. And, that's 2 of the forces for Arkansas. Obviously, Kylie, Bree Ellis, Nia Carter, who's transferred from Iowa, who was second in the nation hits last year, led the Big Ten, and Rylan Headscock were the 4 that are in the top 100. The fact that you have 4 in there and you have 2 more that you probably think should have been there, and then you've got this whole plethora of newcomers, both via the transfer route and adding in 4 top-ranked freshmen. It really gives them an opportunity to really have a phenomenal season, which gets started on February 8th and gets started a week before the baseball team does, in Boca Raton, Florida, which is a place I think we should have gone and covered, but especially as I sit here in a video. So.
Yeah, I mean, that would have probably been optimal. I mean, the best way to cover any sport is live. I'm just saying that would have probably been the best option. But, hey. I want to touch back on what you were just talking about with Hannah Gamble. She is the team leader, the clubhouse leader. And for her to not be in the top 100, she was the last couple of years and now not. Doesn't that put a chip on her shoulder to say, hey, you know what? You forgot about me, and I'm going to let you know I'm still here?
Well, I think she's already gotten that chip on her shoulder. She, it's no scoop or anything that she didn't have the year that she thought she was going to have. Most of us thought she was going to have, and probably Coach Deifel thought she was going to have last year. I think she started pressing after not starting out well, but she, from all indications, in her summer play this year, she got more relaxed, got back at it. She's ready for a big time year. I suspect, especially with the amount of talent around her, that lineup is so deep, at the plate, that she's, there'll be a little less pressure on her, and she'll probably go back into being able to have a phenomenal year. She's a great young woman that, has been a leader for them, has been a leader in the community, and I think that, I look forward to her having a big year, and we know what type of player she is.
Yep. Well, the other side of that page is baseball, and they also had their media week. You've seen it all over social media with shoots, different stories that are going to be coming out here in the next couple of weeks leading up to the season. What kind of did you take away from the media day? Was there a player or two that you saw in the fall now has maybe kind of changed his body a little bit more, or a little bit from what you saw last? Has there been anybody that's transformed themselves coming into the season, knowing that spots are going to be hard to get into because this team is so talented?
Well, what I would say is, I don't know about that, but what I would say is that as you look and talk with Coach Van Horn, the ones that have had injuries have Peyton Stovall, some of the pitchers, Dylan Carter, some other, seem to be far ahead of schedule. It looks like they're going to be pretty close to a full roster, being able to to enter the season fully healthy. Obviously, there'll be a couple of ways that a couple of guys that will have to spend a little time on the IL or whatever we're calling it these days. But I think that obviously they've ranked number 2 in perfect game, number 3 in D1 baseball, number 3 in another poll I saw this morning, but I'm not familiar with it. But they're obviously very highly ranked. I'm a little surprised they're ranked that high. But then you think about the biggest reason it is because they're weekend staff. obviously, Hagen Smith picked as the preseason SEC Pitcher of the Year, according to D1 Baseball. You've got Brady Tiger, who's poised to have a great year. Then Mason Molina, the transfer from Texas Tech, who was their ace and was going to be their ace again. If it doesn't matter whether he's your Saturday or Sunday starter, you've got really good depth there. I'm excited about them starting their season on January 16th at 3 p.m. at Baum Walker Stadium, I guess it is. And, I suspect that that's a 4-game series with James Madison that they're opening with before they go to Arlington, Texas. It's a Globe Life Stadium and play Oregon State, Oklahoma State, and Michigan. Some new teams there for the past couple of years. Obviously, they keep playing Oklahoma State, which is a great series. There won't be any Razorbacks this year. He's in the Yankees minor league system now, but I'm sure there'll be plenty of entertainment there and plenty of World Championship banners hanging around that park.
Yeah, it's always kind of fun to hate on a guy like Ruggiero. It's always easy just because he's so polarizing. He's such a fiery individual, and now you got to find something kind of else on the Cowboys team to kind of hate on a little bit. But could you compare Mason Molina and the moves that he's made and the level of competition that he's able to provide to maybe like a Paul Skeens?
Obviously he's a similar profile, and that may be a comp. Skeens obviously is more of a power pitcher, I think. Molina more of a finesse pitcher, but he has he has 3 or 4 pitches that he's very comfortable with. I think that obviously Paul Skeens proved more as they went down the stretch last year, but certainly that is someone that you would achieve to be. That has had that impact. I believe Hagen Smith may be the Paul Skeens in that he's going to be the Friday night guy, and you'd expect big time things from him. Even when he's had to bounce from the starting lineup to the back of the bullpen, he's been able to have success. I think it's 15-4 in his 2 years here, and I expect him to have a great year starting on that February 16th against James Madison.
And one of the big question marks coming into this season is outfield. Has Dave has he talked about where he's have like a 4-guy rotation, 5-guy rotation of folks that he's going to be trying to get a set 3 in the outfield that he wants, or is he kind of already know where he's at? Though?
Well, I think during our post-fall wrap up with him, which was really in the midwinter one with him, I think Kendall Diggs is going to play right field. That's the one certain thing. He played there in summer baseball. I feel really good about him being over there. That's the spot he wants to be in. It'll be better for his professional development as well. You've got a couple of center fielders, Ty Wilmsmeyer, who played a lot there during the fall scrimmages. The transfer from Will Edmondson, the transfer from Hutchinson County Community College is a guy that could certainly be the center fielder. And then the left field, you've got a variety of different candidates. I kind of believe it's Jason Jones to take if he comes in and has a good preseason camp, because you want to get his bat in the lineup. He's been hit and miss literally. During his time here, had a good summer. That's a guy you'd love to have in the lineup. And then you're going to have, obviously, I think Peyton Holt at third. We Hawaii Eloy at shortstop. Peyton,
best name in baseball.
Yeah, Peyton Stovall will be at second. And then, I guess Wagner, McLaughlin, just depending who they want to go with there at first base. And then Hudson White catching, although you've got 4 catchers back there that they'll play the hot hand, I'm sure, and be able to make a lot of defensive switches if they need to. Maybe you get Parker rolling, maybe he starts, maybe he comes off the bench and gets a big hit, because he was certainly, on fire during the fall scrimmages that they had at the plate.
I think Dave's bench is going to be a little deeper on the bats than he has the last couple of years, because last year you didn't have that Charlie Welsh that could come off the bench and give you some pop. Now he's got that, and I think that's going to make I think it's going to make it a lot tougher on teams 7th, 8th, and 9th inning because Dave's going to have some folks in his back pocket that he can say, okay, go get me a hit.
And that includes some freshmen like Ryder Helfrich, who's one of those catchers that certainly I think will catch a lot of games. He's a catcher of the future here, I think. At least, that's what they're projecting, and certainly one of the more highly rated freshmen in the country that they brought in here. He certainly has some good moments in the fall during the scrimmages, and I think that they'll find a place for him, be it DH or catching or whatever, to get his bat in the lineup and just get his baseball instincts in the lineup. You could tell during the scrimmage when he would take an extra base, he just knows the game has a high baseball IQ.
I really feel like the university can capitalize on a Waiwa Island night or Hawaiian night for that matter. Come dressed up in your island shirts or you can give away some lays. I think that would be a really great night for folks.
Yeah, and obviously Nolan Souza is a freshman from Hawaii as well that is going to be part of that, be able to they could do the theme night around that. And he's going to be a middle infielder, play there some. So they're going to have plenty of options that, they're in the middle infield. There's a reason to rank second, third. And it's not just because of the pitching. It's because it's an all-around baseball team.
Could they be the Flying Hawaiians?
I'll let somebody else come up with the nicknames.
I'll tell you, man, whenever you have that sitting in front of you, I'm telling you, there's a plethora of options. And I mean, I'm saying Oliver, I'm putting it out there, Oliver. It could be a Hawaiian night. I'm telling you, the fans will go crazy for it. So one thing before we get out of here, I noticed this yesterday, and I'm bringing this up really quick because I want to make sure I get this guy's name right. It is Cam McCormick entering his 9th season of football with the Miami Hurricanes after he's transferred a couple of times. At this point, would he qualify for veteran status at the NCAA level?
Well, it's interesting. It's about time to get a job, young man. He's had 9 years now. 3 or 4 of those have been season-ending injuries. He's got injured in the first game of the season twice. One of those injuries kept him from playing for 2 years. There's a COVID year in there. I think he took off a year when he became a grandpa. There's so many different things. But 9 years is a run, and started out at Oregon. Obviously, he's not been what you'd call productive when he's been on the field. But I did think it was an interesting story and kind of, allowed for a little laughter. You've got guys who can't stay in one place long enough, and this guy's still trying to play. And he's definitely, I guess since he's probably over 26 now, he's not on his parents' insurance anymore. So maybe that's why he's going on there to a university, a medical plan.
Maybe he can qualify for the veteran league minimum. I don't know.
Well, he would still be a rookie in if he gets into the minor leagues next year, we would be the Dennis Quaid. He would be the Dennis Quaid character.
Yes. Oh my God, yeah. That would be that. By the way, that was a great movie. That was a great movie because, golly, I'm telling you, I've watched that a couple different times, and it just kind of gives me this. It makes my goosebumps come up because I'm telling you, man, it's one of those feel good stories, and you can kind of identify yourself with that a little bit. Going, damn, I was that age just recently. Or, hey, you know what? I can still maybe. No, I can't do that. No, I can't. But yeah. Oh, by the way, I watched Flower, the new Leo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro movie. It is 3.5 hours.
3.5 hour movie. Yeah.
It was 3.5 hours, but I'm going to tell you what, it is darn good. It is worth the watch.
We have it on our list. We're going to clear up a couple of days for it.
Yeah, it's one of those, back in the day where you used to have intermission, and this one would require an intermission at, hour and 45 minute halfway through. Because, yeah, I get antsy sitting there through 2 hours.
One of the great things, one of the great commercials that they used to have at the drive-ins, and certainly in some just regular theaters, was "Let's all go to the lobby."
Yeah,
drink, and had the box of popcorn dancing around and the drink. Good times, good times.
Yeah, those were the days, man. Well, I'm gonna get you out of here, and y'all stay safe, stay warm. It's got another cold snap coming through right now. Actually, it's supposed to be only in the 20s today, and it's supposed to dip back down into the single digits tonight. So, be careful over the next couple of days. And Dudley, you'll have stuff coming out, if I'm not mistaken, for basketball, also for softball. Is that correct?
Yep, we'll have a video up from Coach Neighbors' press conference today. My story will be up tomorrow. We're previewing LSU, and then we'll have a litany of things next week as we continue to just try to cover everything we can for free at Hogville.
Free. That's the best 4-letter word I've ever heard of. Free. And it starts with an F too, mind you. All right. Well, y'all take care. We'll see y'all next week. And this is for Dudley and myself, Jason. Thank y'all for joining on with the Arkansas Diamond Report with Dudley Dawson. Take care.